Victoria's Secret used to be the definition of glamour, larger than life models, explosive energy, and pure fantasy on the runway. But now, it feels like the brand lost its spark trying to please everyone. Let's talk about how inclusivity became both its best and worst move, and what it'll take to bring back the magic. Honestly, Victoria's Secret got inclusivity only half right. What they did well was adding more body types that was needed, but they did it at the cost of talent and runway presence. Don't get me wrong, plus size models like Ashley Graham, Yumi Nu, Paloma Elisessor, and Precious Lee have earned their wings. They're real model with strong portfolios and years of experience in fashion. Same goes for Alex Consani. She deserves to be on that runway, even though the old VS would not have hired her due to their narrow definitions of fantasy. But what about the things that they got wrong? Hiring celebrities like Gwen Blackwell, Angel Reese, Barbie Ferreira, and Suni Lee. That's where it starts to feel off. They're talented in their own fields, but not modeling. Barbie is an actress and has appeared in many roles we know and love. Angel and Suni are athletes. They're damn good at their job, however. Angel had to take catwalk lessons before the show as she walked very sloppily in heels. That's not the Victoria's Secret standard we grew up watching. It just feels out of place, a bit performative. Even when celebrities like Kim Kardashian walk high fashion runway, it feels extremely cringe. Their lack of experience stands out like a sore thumb. I'm all for body positivity and representation, but not when it comes at the expense of what made VS models iconic, that mix of skill, confidence, and pure stage presence. Simply being beautiful and unique is not enough. Representation should add to the brand, not dilute it. In this case, it feels like a step in the wrong direction. A good example of doing this right is when pregnant Jasmine Tookes opened the show. It kept the classic VS vibe, but showed a new side of femininity and strength. Plenty of angels have walked pregnant before in the runway, but this was the first time we saw one with a very visible baby bump being celebrated on stage. But let's talk about Nepo babies. I get it, Gigi and Bella Hadid are technically Nepo babies too. But when they joined VS, they had already earned their stripes. They were at the height of their careers, top of the modeling world, massive fan bases, and their names were on everybody's lips. Even though after many years of modeling, Gigi still has many sloppy moments on the runway, but that's Nepo babies for you. But for the most part, I think that they've proved themselves. But when it comes to Leela Moss, Iris Law, and Amelia Gray, I think it's just too soon. They haven't built that kind of name recognition or credibility that justifies a VS runway spot. Not yet, at least. It feels like the brand is forcing a new generation before it's even ready. In my opinion, it'll take a good few years before viewers start caring about them. And that brings me to another interesting question. Why do fans still lose their minds over Adriana Lima or Candice Swanepoel, but barely react to the performance of the newer faces? These women have been walking the VS stage for nearly a decade or even more. They command this stage. They're veterans who have earned it. The new lineup just doesn't inspire the same awe or connection, not because they're new, but because there's a lack of merit. There was a story the old OG models' faces told us. They were symbols of determination, hard work, and consistency. Right now, it feels like the OG angels and veterans are carrying the whole show on their backs, while the newer models are being pushed forward without earning their place. But let's rewind a little bit. In the past, Victoria's Secret had a proper system. Models were chosen and trained to become angels based on performance, loyalty, and how well they embodied the brand's fantasy. Think Taylor Hill, Elsa Hosk, Sarah Sampaio, Josephine Scriver, and Alexina Graham. Women who worked for years, moving up the ranks, building their presence. They became symbols of beauty, dedication, and ambition. These girls were loved by viewers because they represented Victoria's Secret for what it was, an untouchable fantasy. Beautiful, hardworking models who worked for years and years to get to this point, scouted in the most unexpected ways, and carved into aspirational figures for women around the world. They represented not only superficial beauty but the fulfillment of dreams through hard work and intention. Yes, the lack of body diversity back then was a real issue, but the fix was simple add professional models of different sizes and unique looks. That's all they needed to do, not replace skill with symbolism. Unfortunately, after the great cancellation of VS, that golden lineup scattered. The show stopped, the angels went their separate ways, and the momentum died. Many never returned, and that's a loss you can still feel. Now, to give credit where it's due, this year's glam was strong. Some of the looks even echoed that early 2000s VS energy, glitter, gloss, and sparkle. The outfits were much better than last year as well, not as bold or imaginative as OG VS, but still a step up. The problem here is that you can have all the sequins in the world, but if the essence isn't the same, it won't hit. And that essence used to come from the music performances and the cheeky, playful energy of the models. Remember when we had Nicki Minaj, Akon, Justin Timberlake, or the Black Eyed Peas lighting up the stage? Those were moments, and they're still replayed today in edits because they were just that unforgettable. They tried to lean into the 2000s vibe this year by calling Missy Elliott to perform, but the performance was lackluster and there weren't any models walking during that time, which seemed weird because we're not here for Missy necessarily, we're here for the show. I also found the whole everybody gets wings approach a little unbearable. Why do we need to see the performers wear wings and strut on the runway as well? Again, it seemed inclusive just for the sake of it. Back then, angels smiled, winked, blew kisses, and danced a little. The walks were bouncy and alive. But now, it's more serious, muted, and slightly stiff. Still sexy, but missing the same fun and sparkle of the past. At the end of the day, art and fashion lose their power when they become too corporate, too performative. Jobs get handed out based on follower counts, family names, and PR strategies, not passion or craft. Victoria's Secret isn't the only brand guilty of this. It's a reflection of where the entire fashion industry is heading. It's no longer just about talent or presence or that electric feeling of she was born for this. It's about follower counts, market demographics, and hashtags. The art of modeling, the craft of embodying a brand and bringing fantasy to life gets buried under analytics and sponsorships. When you start hiring for engagement metrics instead of magnetism, the magic fades because the audience can feel when something's real and when something's manufactured for approval. The Victoria's Secret fashion show used to feel alive, spontaneous, daring, and glamorous, but now it feels like a focus group designed it. And that's the saddest part. Fashion isn't meant to be safe or algorithm friendly, it's supposed to move you, to make you dream. So while I respect the attempt to evolve, Victoria's Secret's revival shows what happens when a brand forgets that art and authenticity must lead, not politics, not PR, and definitely not social media stats. Because when fashion becomes a numbers game, the angels don't fly, they just pose. And that's the real tragedy of modern Victoria's Secret. They tried to rebrand for the times, but in doing so, they lost the very magic that made us believe in angels. If you found this video entertaining or helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe.